Hello YouTube. The world of the Elder Scrolls contains many different creatures, from the cute and amazing dragon frog to actual dragons that would like to kill you if they had the chance. Now, today we're talking about one of the most fearsome creatures that ever walked across the planes of existence. Arox the Mutilator. A massive Daedric titan whose story is quite interesting and is interwoven with the story of the Elder Scrolls Online's Deadlands DLC, so if you don't want spoilers for that, then don't watch this video. You've been warned. Arox the Mutilator, Sunderer of the Seven Skies, the warrior of the floating waste and terror of the Deadlands, is one of the most fearsome and strong Daedric creatures to ever exist. He is an Ash Titan, which is a Daedric Titan created by the Daedric Prince of Chaos and Destruction, Mehrunes Dagon, as an imitation of Molag Bal's Titans, who were in turn Molag Bal's attempt at creating his own dragons. As after the Dragon War, Molag Bal managed to get his hands on a live dragon, whose remains he modified to contain Daedric energy instead of a dragon soul. That led to the creation of the Daedric Titans, of which Mehrunes Dagon created his own versions, the Ash Titans. Now, one of these Daedric Ash Titans is Arox the Mutilator, one of the most powerful and cruel Daedra to have ever come into existence. He was created by Mehrunes Dagon to become his ultimate general, a tool of destruction, and ever since his creation somewhere near the end of the Meretic era or start of the First Era, Arox has led Mehrunes Dagon's forces in their exploits on Tamriel and in Oblivion. For example, when Mehrunes Dagon wished the Ayleid city of Varondo destroyed, it was Arox who flew over the city and burned down legions of Ayleids like dry grass in wildfire. Arox was also there when Mehrunes Dagon set Sothas'il's ancient home, the city of Al Sotha, ablaze, and he also commanded the legions of Durmora inside the Deadlands and in their operations across Oblivion. Arox was a cruel leader, a true alpha of the Deadlands, a realm where one's status is determined by those other Daedra that you crush in order to gain Mehrunes Dagon's favor. For millennia, minor Daedra would challenge him for his role as Mehrunes Dagon's supreme commander, but he, in his own words, crushed them all to paste. As commander of Dagon's legions, he seated in the great fortress of Ardent Hope, and he held command over the Blood Pit, which was Mehrunes Dagon's largest prison for disloyal Daedra and the few unlucky mortals who had managed to get captured and weren't killed by his Daedra. Arox was a skilled torturer, interrogating prisoners for Dagon, and he had a great knowledge of the Deadlands. His name was feared throughout the realm, and minor Daedra would grovel at the mere mention of his name. But as those who have played the Deadlands DLC know, that all came to a quite abrupt ending, because Arox suddenly disappeared from the Deadlands, his massive titan form never to be seen again, or so many Daedra assumed, because Arox didn't really disappear, he was cursed. You see, another powerful Daedra, Valkanas Nokvros, a minor commander of Dagon's forces who wanted Arox's position for himself, used a powerful and complicated magical curse to transform the massive titan Arox into a tiny Daedrat, losing all his powers in the process. Valkanas Nokvros then threw Daedrat Arox into a cell in his own Blood Pit prison, the prison he had used to manage for Dagon. But Arox managed to escape this prison as he knew the structure inside out, and he then tried to find a cure for his curse across the Daedric realms, but all attempts for a cure were futile. Although his searching across the different realms of Oblivion did spread the word of a talking Daedrat wandering the realms. And, you know, Daedrat aren't supposed to talk, they are non-sentient creatures, so rumors of a talking Daedrat were very appealing to those dealing in curiosities. And so it was that Arox the Mutilator, once the most powerful general of the Daedric forces of Mehrunes Dagon, got captured, and then locked up in the private collection of an avid collector of curiosities. This is where we meet Arox in the game, beaten down and locked up. As a player at the time, we are looking for a way to translate the codes used by some followers of Mehrunes Dagon. More on that in a future video on the Gates of Oblivion storyline with Blackwood and the Deadlands. But Arox can help us translate those codes, and in exchange for freeing him from his bonds, he promises on his honor to serve us and translate anything we need. Honestly, Daedra Arox is probably the best character of that entire DLC. He calls you his mortal master, he scream talks most of the time, trying to compensate for his small stature. He keeps swearing that he will get revenge on everyone when he's back to his normal form, and he's constantly being annoyed when people dismiss him or don't believe that he's actually the great Arox the Mutilator, and not just some Daedra with grandeur. But he is with us throughout the entire adventure, traveling with us in our backpack, and by the end, Arox admits that although Daedra don't know the concept of friendship, we are the first mortal that he doesn't wish to eat. So nice of him. That being said, during the adventure we do find a way to temporarily break the curse resting on Arox, and for a very small window of time, when we are in dire need, he can transform back to his actual self. Which is literally the biggest Ash Titan in the game, and he absolutely crushes everyone and anything in your way, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, that lifting of the curse was just temporarily, as he gets transformed back after a bit, with no outlook on a permanent cure of the curse. But Arox confesses that he has patience, as Daedra are immortal, and thus over the eons long after his servitude to you has ended, because you are dead, he is optimistic that he will find a way to get rid of the curse once and for all, and once more be the feared Arox the Mutilator. But even if he does manage to get his form back, he says that he will not return to Mehrunes Dagon's service, as he feels betrayed by the Daedric Prince. You see, the culture of the Deadlands is harsh, but Arox has always lived by the rule that any Daedra may challenge him for his position in fair and straight combat. If they are stronger, they deserve the position, not him. But Falconas Knockfrost used the way of the coward by cursing him rather than beating him in combat, and the fact that Mehrunes Dagon did not interfere did not show loyalty to Arox, despite his millennia of loyal service to the Daedric Prince, and that made it so that Arox says that he'll leave the prince's service, no matter if he gets his form back or not. And so a new chapter in his life begins, a chapter in which, after the story ends of the Deadlands DLC, he gets imprisoned for almost clawing someone's eyes out and actually killing another person, and needs our help to get free. He also wanders the mortal realm, trying to enslave mortal rats and become their king, and he is also scared by cats. You know, rat stuff. That being said, that was the story of Arox the Mutilator, honestly one of Elder Scrolls Online's best characters. While he sometimes fulfills the role of comedic relief in the story of the Deadlands, he is also just genuinely one of its best characters, and the character development that he has is a really cool story on its own. I hope we get more characters like Arox. Now, I sincerely hope that you learned something new about the Elder Scrolls lore today, and if you did, consider subscribing and returning for the next one, or, you know, watch any of my previous videos, like the video that I made last week on the Longhouse Emperors, who were Tamriel's forgotten Imperial dynasty. It's a pretty good video. Now all that remains for me to do is to thank my top Patreon supporters, Mr. Bernardo Binda, Gabriel Binda, Polo Rasputin, Athena Iotis, Dragonborn of Narovar, Volkjor of Argonia, King Chris, Bulge, Scrap the Scrolls, Doji, Fenrir, Sword of Bushido, Rakai, and Mr. Christmas. It's thanks to these people and all the others on screen that this channel stays alive, and for that I am very grateful. That said, I hope to see all of you in the next Elder Scrolls lore video. Bye bye.